Hello and welcome. Today's video will be about perhaps one of the main obstacles that we are facing as creative, as artists, and this problem can be a really mystery to our development in our art and how we are progressing as artists, as creatives. And to solve it has an outstanding opportunity, the opportunity that we can overcome what is holding you back in your art career or your artistic development. When you think about it, the really successful artists always have figured out a way how to be focused just on what is making their art so successful. And we have, of course, tried it also. We came up with this idea, we have tried out this one idea, and then it didn't quite work out. So what is our brain doing? It is coming up with the next great idea, and this idea is perhaps also not working, but our brain is getting better in problem solving, so it's coming up with the next idea, and in this way we are becoming very good in being creative, coming up with solutions, coming up with new ideas, get inspired. But with time the things are not working out for us and we are becoming very frustrated, and perhaps you have already the insight that we are not keeping the main thing that is making us successful. We are jumping from one thing to the next, and we are developing more and more ideas, and these ideas with time are crowding us, and we are not moving forward. Perhaps the best metaphor, the best picture to represent it is the bridge that you can perhaps see behind me here in Rishikesh. This is a very narrow bridge, it's a one-lane bridge, but this bridge is used for everything, for scooters, crowds of people are moving back and forth there, and also cows and dogs are using it, and you have monkeys on this bridge. And when I was talking about this problem that I'm just telling you right now, yesterday with a client, it came to me that our mind is like this one-lane bridge. We want, with our art career, with our art, we want to move from one point to the next point, the point where it is sunnier, where the grass is greener. But during our journey to the other side, over this small narrow bridge, we want to move forward with different things, so we are inventing this one thing that is moving forward, but it's not going fast enough, so we are coming up with the next thing that is trying to move forward, and with time there are so many ideas that this whole bridge is getting stuck. And when I'm walking this bridge every morning, it is really still cold here in Himalayas, and then you are in this crowd, you are stuck in the middle of the river, and this cold wind is blowing, and then you are very frustrated and you are overwhelmed with the crowd that is also stuck with you on this bridge. You have sometimes the feeling that the bridge is not really good made, so there is also a fear that is creeping in. What is when this bridge will fall apart and you are plunging into the nothingness of this cold river? And sometimes in your art progression, your art career, you are feeling the same. You are stuck, you are overwhelmed, you are start to live from one point with fear, and you are coming up with all these ideas, but nothing is working out, and you are so frustrated. I think the most important solution, or the most important myth that we should go, is that a lot is helping a lot. The more ideas, the more inspiration, the more kind of art possibilities you are coming up, the more crowded you are becoming. So not is a lot helping you a lot, but to focus on the few things that are working actually out, to be remembered that you have a brain that is become very good in coming up with things, with solving problems, and to become aware that sometimes it is even inventing problems to execute this possibility of being creative. Even when some things are actually working, we are saying to us, okay, it is kind of working, but what about this when I come with a different target group? I'm going with my art after, or I'm going a different art direction and so on. And to be aware that your brain is really creative and very good on inventing problems and solving them. And the main challenge can be to be able to focus on this one thing. Now we have someone with us, a doggy, that is coming to our conversation. I hope this doggy will not crowd us, like sometimes our ideas are crowding us. So the framework for the solution you can achieve, because many of my clients are having this problem, I have even this problem, is to remember that it is what you are going is actually a one-way bridge. So a lot of things on the bridge will get you stuck, and less is more. Figure out the things that have already perhaps worked out for your art. Figure out what things have you already created and they began to work out, but perhaps you became a little bit bored and then you wanted to come up with with another thing. Figure out the one thing that started to work and you have perhaps let it go far too fast. And when you have a list of the things that have already worked out for your art career, or whatever you are trying to cross over to, try to figure the one thing out that will make it worth for you to work on it for a while, to focus your creativity not on many things, but focus for a while on this one thing. And inside of the thing, be really creative. So it is like about channeling. What is changing, what is a game changer for my clients, is to be able to channel it, not to go into the broad ideas and many ideas, but with one thing that is starting to working, and there to be very creative, there to focus your whole art career. And when you have figured out the few things that you are willing to channel your creativity for, you will see what a kind of game changer it is. I know this is sometimes really hard, because when you once became very good at being creative, coming up with all these new ideas, and it is becoming a kind of mythological thing about you. Oh, I am an artist, I have to create many different things, and to channel me, it's like a loss of freedom. Actually, it is not. It is becoming a mastery of the true mysteries of your creativity then. And when it's too hard to do it, perhaps there's another thing that you can do. I was telling you about this bridge and how crowded this bridge is. They have actually decided last week, or I don't know, 2 weeks ago, that this bridge cannot be crossed anymore by cars and by scooters. And it was a really game changer, just to get rid of the things that are not belonging on this small narrow bridge, the scooters and the cows and the dogs, just to get rid of them. The whole crowd is moving much faster. Perhaps you can do this, start with this, just to get rid of the things, the crazy ideas, that are just filling up the space and bringing absolute nothing, that are not perhaps belonging to your art and your art development. This can be the starting point when you are not able instantly to tell, this is the one thing I am willing to make the main thing. And from there, just by getting rid of the unnecessary things, you are seeing that on this bridge are just few person moving, and you are moving much more faster, and with time you can perhaps decide for this one person. Perhaps there is someone that you can ask to have a call phone every week. Just this person is asking you about, what is this one thing doing? What have you done this week to move this one thing forward? Where have you been creative in this one thing? And just talking with this one person about the one thing will change your game, because you are more becoming focused on the one thing instead of the many things and jumping around between different ideas. So find this person, ask this person if this person is willing to talk with you every week just for 1 hour about this topic, and it will be a game changer. You will also find in the description down below something that will help you. Oh, another trick that I'm using, I have a special clothes that I'm wearing when I'm focusing myself on the one thing, where I'm focusing my brain on this one artistic thing that is important to me. This is this ArtBrain hoodie, where I take every morning 1 hour to think about this one specific thing. It is becoming a kind of ritual where I go to places that are so beautiful, like this here, and then I'm thinking about the one thing. Perhaps you can make a ritual out of this. The hoodies like this you will also find in the description down below, or you can come up with your very own ritual. So I hope this was helpful. I hope the story of the bridge has inspired you. Just sit down, write down everything you have done that has started to work for you, and figure out between the things that started to work out for you, what would be good enough that you are willing to channel your creativity on this few things and start from there. Or if you cannot do this, just figure out what you can let go, because it is just blocking your bridge, and it's not belonging on the bridge like the scooters and the cows here. Perhaps this is your starting point. I also hope to see you in my next video. Until then, see you soon. Bye bye.